It seems as though things are finally turning around for Ousmane Dieng as he had a solid performance here in his third preseason game. Yes, even though it was against New Zealand Breakers, he had a solid performance as it seemed as though Mark Daigneault saw Dylan Jones was outperforming him a little bit, and fans started speculating. Even some other reporters and analysts started talking about how potentially Dylan Jones could get more garbage time and even just regular rotation minutes than Ousmane Dieng during the regular season. That's how well he's been performing. But Ousmane Dieng turned heads once again last night, showing off why the Oklahoma City Thunder drafted him 11th overall in the 2022 NBA draft and why they haven't shipped him off yet when they definitely could have in the trade for Gordon Hayward last season so they could get cap space for Isaiah Hartenstein. Just a lot of questions surrounding the guy, and he might have brought hope back for a ton of Thunder fans that were kind of done with him. And we're going to break that down, his performance here today on Thunder Digest, along with his other Summer League performances. I saw an article that talked about it decently as well, and give you my personal opinion on how I think he's been doing so far and if we should read too much into this preseason game he just played. Before we get all that, though, just once again letting you guys know, if you find yourself coming back on a regular basis, you enjoy the content we put out here, or if you're new and you're liking what we're doing here at Thunder Digest and you want to support the channel, the best way to do so is to hit that subscribe button. With that out of the way, we can go ahead and get into talking about Ousmane Dieng a little bit. And yes, it's a solid performance from him. Not taking that away at all. All right, Ousmane Dieng played lights out last night. I think he was one assist away from a triple-double. Hats off to him. It honestly was a good performance. Might have been the best of the night. Either him or Adam Flagler, who really got the Thunder going early on in that game, going 4 of 4, I think, in his first 8 minutes of play from behind the three-point line. He was shooting it lights out. One of those two guys, definitely the best performances of the night. And so it's just the fact I'm not trying to read too much into it, is the thing, because it's not like it was against another NBA team. It was against the New Zealand Breakers, all right? And there's a reason some of those guys aren't in the NBA. Ousmane Dieng did come from them, and they had guys like RJ Hampton as well come from that team that eventually got drafted and played at the NBA level. It's just, like I said, not NBA level competition, so I'm not reading too much into it. But once again, it's like I said, not trying to take away from what he accomplished last night. 20 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. That's a solid outing from him. And Michael Stamps also agreed as well in a recent article he put out over on Sports Illustrated. And he just kind of talked about how we all saw what, as fans, we've been wanting to see from Dieng all of last night. What Thunder fans needed to see from Dieng was the ability to put the ball in the hoop, which he did last night. The former 22 lottery pick has struggled to see the court his first 2 seasons, primarily because of his inability to score. He's looked confused and stiff at times his first 2 seasons with ball handling and decision-making troubles. Dieng's turned the ball over only 6 times in the preseason, 2 of which came last night. Cleaning up small problems like this is a surface way to sell a lot of a surefire way to solidify more playing time as the Thunder's core has developed the past 3 seasons. It's looked like at times as if Dieng was falling behind. A string of good preseason performances is helping his case to earn more playing time for the Thunder looking ahead to the regular season. Going into that, just off that last bit of information, we'll get into that more later on when I mention this, but I think that was his first good preseason performance. His first performance was horrible. I'm going to be honest. I did not like it. 25 minutes of play. You went 1 of 6 from the field, 2 points, and just a few rebounds and assists here and there. Not the greatest performance. The Houston game, also not a good performance at all. I don't want to say it was horrendous. Below average performance by him. I will say that. Then last night, finally, a great performance, all right, against the Breakers. It was a great performance. I think that was his first good preseason game. He has to play lights out. I don't want to say flawless these next 2 games, but he has to play at least above average these next 2 games if he wants to solidify a reason for the Thunder to keep him and give him actual playing time this upcoming season. Getting into the rest of the article here by Michael Stamps. Dieng at his peak form presents himself as an unusually large, more modern stretch wing. His 6'10" frame for the small or power forward position, combined with his mobility and flashes of fluidity, was the appeal to selecting him in the lottery as he continues to find his feet offensively, which appears to be improving. His length and instincts on defense are almost always on display. If Dieng can continue to knock down his perimeter shots, improve his shot selection, and remain efficient, some sort of role on the Thunder roster will emerge for him. So like it was mentioned, like the big thing is he just has to be consistent. And that's the thing. All right? He just has to be consistent is my thing. And he also talked about it on here, how if Jen can continue to knock down his perimeter shots, improve his shot selection, and remain efficient, some sort of role in the Thunder roster will emerge from him. But I think that also plays in the consistency thing. If he can consistently do that on a nightly basis, show that it's not, some fluke performance where he'll have that good game, then the next 2 or 3 are just not great games at all, then yes, he can get time with the Thunder roster. But until he can prove that, which is what we're going to be looking for on Tuesday, that fourth preseason game, see if he can continue this performance, then I'll, get back on the hype train for Dieng. Until then, I'm, 1 foot off, 1 foot on, kind of like, yes, it was a good performance, but I need to see him do it again. If he can do it back-to-back games, hats off to him. I'll get back on the Dieng hype train. And like I mentioned earlier with the stats, all right, these are his Summer League stats so far. First game against the Spurs in 25 minutes of play, like I mentioned. 1 of 6 from the field, 2 points, 6 boards, 2 assists. He did have 2 blocks defensively. He looked decent in that game. He did look decent in that game against the Spurs. Then the Rockets, not horrible, but not good. 21 minutes of play, he went 3 of 8 from the field, 2 of 5 from behind the three-point line. You'll take that. The three-point shot looked good that game. Everything else I thought was mediocre in this performance. Defensively did not look very good. He only turned the ball over 1 time. He finished with 8 points that game, but his plus-minus was -17 this game. Not great at all. Then finally against the Breakers, you look at this. Fantastic game. Near triple-double, 10 rebounds. That says 8 assists. I think everyone else, like everywhere else you look, even on Twitter, they were talking about how he was just one assist away. And so that might just be a typo, or they might have actually looked back and fixed it where it was actually just 8 assists that game. But 20 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 blocks right there with only 1 turnover. That's a solid performance by him in 37 minutes of play. 7 of 16 from the field, going 43% from the field. I would like him to try to get his field goal percentage as close to 50 as possible. I'd like to see it more of like 47, 48. There just at times I feel like he could finish a little bit better around the rim. But even then, not bad. 3-7 from the three-point line. I'll take that all day. 42%. That's, good right there. 3 of 5 from the free throw line. I'd like to see it 4 of 5. Free throws are killer in this league, especially when you look at the Thunder. We like to get to the free throw line a lot. And so if he can improve his free throw numbers there and find ways to actually get to the free throw line and convert, it'd be nice. It increases scoring a little bit. But like I said, if he can remain efficient like this behind the three-point line, keep getting boards like this, and do well defensively, then, like I mentioned, I'll get back on the Ousmane Dieng hype train, and I'll fully support, giving him some decent playing time. Now, I think you would split whatever minutes you're giving to J-Will to him as well. Give half of them to J-Will, give half of them to Dieng, see who's performing better in those scenarios, who's helping out the team better to truly figure out, okay, who's going to serve as like our, say, backup center? Who's going to serve as that? When Chet Holmgren's out of the game, all right, or, let's say we want to run Chet at the 4, and Isaiah Hartenstein's not playing in the game right there. He needs like 2-3 minutes of rest. Who's going to be that guy in manning down low in the middle to help out Chet Holmgren? Who's going to be that guy when Chet needs to come out to help out Isaiah Hartenstein? Who's going to be that guy? And it's going to be a fight between Dieng and J-Will, especially if Dieng keeps playing like this, and J-Will's not going to play in preseason. So it's one of those things where if he can do this another game, you could potentially see him getting some time in the regular season. Potentially. Now, I'm not saying it's for sure. Potentially, okay? Just like I mentioned, he needs to do it again. Until he does it again Tuesday night, I'm going to have 1 foot on the hype train and 1 foot off, okay? Just that simple. I want to see him do it again against an NBA-level team, and then I'll fully support giving some time. But that's all I got for this video today. Let me know what you guys personally think. Do you guys think we should read into this performance really well and be like, look, near triple-double, that's hard to accomplish, and I get that? Or do you also agree with me when it's like, just got to keep in mind, this wasn't an NBA team. This team isn't in the NBA. A lot of those guys probably won't ever make it to the league. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.